Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to episode 7 of Murder in the First called Let's Make a Deal. We're going to talk about it all. There was a death, Soletti's trial finally started, which was a hot mess, and we finally know Alicia Barnes' dad, no bueno. Official.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Like Susannah said, this is the background music to the very first deal made ever.
Yep.
Ever.
The OG Let's Make a Deal.
The OG, not the what we have now, but this is the first deal ever, and that's why we have the song, because the name of the episode is called Let's Make a Deal. Yes, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. I am Monse Bolanos. Thanks for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. You can also find her, this one right here across from me.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Susannah_Kim. It's SUSANNAH_KIM.
Susannah.
Yeah, Susannita.
Susannita. We haven't been here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Feels weird.
A little bit.
I missed the show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Last Sunday, I was like, I wish there was an episode. I just want to know more.
Huh?
I just want to know more.
You wish there was an episode.
I wish there was an episode last week because I just wanted to know more. And we found some stuff out this episode, but not a lot. I feel like we're in for a whirl on the last 3 episodes. Like, some stuff's gonna go down.
Yeah.
Because we're starting to get a lot of answers, like all of these questions, all of these loose strings. Slowly, we're starting to tie them.
A little bit. I mean, we've been all over the place this whole season. We're like, oh, we think this is going to happen. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then 20 other things happen. And we're like, we don't know what's going on, you guys.
We don't know, literally. Yeah. That's it. So we're glad you're tuning in with us, and we hope you're just as confused as we are as to who killed Normandy.
Yeah.
What the F?
Normandy, Billy.
Although
we know who killed Serena. So.
We know who killed.
I mean, at least one of those is solved, right?
Right.
I was like, are we gonna add another
Unsolved
mystery? Yeah, that would be terrible.
And we're actually gonna start with the trial of Soletti, but something I wrote down when they mention they're like when they're talking to Alicia's mother, and they're like, how's she doing? And she's like, oh, 6 months sober. I was like, so this has been 6 months? Because they said she was 6 months sober, that she just celebrated her sobriety. So this whole murder, like Normandy's murder, happened 6 months ago. Is that the timeline they're giving us?
What do you mean?
Because when they were talking to Alicia's mother, she asked how her daughter was doing.
I thought they were asking about her. Alicia's mom, I think, is the sober one that has sobriety things. Right?
She's the one who said. I thought it was Taye and Hildy that said it to her. The 6 months
about Alicia?
About Alicia.
No. It was about the mom. That's why the dad was even asking, like, oh, how's she doing? They were like, oh, she's good. She just got her 6 months sobriety. And when she was like, oh, I got my 6 months sober, Hildy was like, congratulations, good job, Okay, so that hadn't. I was tripping. Her. Yeah, and that's why she was like, I was hoping, addiction wouldn't. It's hereditary, this and that, which I thought was so dumb because it's like, clearly Alicia's daddy's smoking cigarettes. Is that not an addiction?
Right?
People, please.
Come on, guys. Just
get over it. Don't smoke.
Don't smoke cigarettes. You're killing yourself. Oh, darn. I really thought that was giving us a timeline because I'm really curious as to how long has it been?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because we don't know in between episodes how long it's
and
been.
they haven't given us anything, like, up until that. When I heard that, I was like, oh, are they giving us a timeline?
Well, okay, but this one actually I think happened right after the last one because Taye was asking about the text message from the night before. So maybe they're happening just right after another, maybe there's not a lot of time skip, It's just hard to tell because they just go from scene to scene,
It is hard to tell.
But we'll have to ask one of our special guests if we get someone in.
Yes, and don't worry, we're working on it. Next week, we have somebody already in the works to come in.
Yeah.
Stay tuned into this podcast, and we'll tell you at the end who it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Surprise.
But there's already somebody for next week already, and probably somebody for the week after that. So don't worry, we got it. 3 episodes left. Let's get into Soletti's trial. We actually open immediately with the trial, and like you said, Taye asks about that text. When she was like, I just was thinking about you. They kind of joke about it. And I was like, I'm so over this. Yeah. I'm so over you too. I'm so over the back and forth.
It's kind of what we expected. We're like, this is going to go for 10 seasons. Watch.
And I'm over it. And we're in season 3. Yeah. And I'm over it.
Season 10, and he's going to respond to that text. And when they're asking about that, I was like, so you didn't respond to that? Rude.
Right. And the way the episode ended, I mean, the end of the episode, Hildy is at home with Louise. It's Louise's birthday. She wants a co-ed sleepover. It's not happening. They're making a cake, blah, 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 blah. Taye shows up with an iPad, and she does not like it. Not one bit.
Although I kind of saw both points,
yes, I see both points.
Yeah, it was nice of him to get it. That's great. But he kind of should have mentioned something, you know?
Right, especially because the way she was saying it's more than what I'm going to get her.
Yeah.
What, more than my grandparents, her alcoholic father, everything. He's not even going to remember. Like, I get what she was saying, and I get what he was trying to do. But it just, you know, like, we're also, I get it. I would be in that situation. I would totally fight like that. Yeah. I would totally be her. I would totally be upset if I was Hildy.
Her just telling him to leave.
That's what I didn't like.
You know?
That's what I didn't like.
It's his birthday, and, you know.
I was all for her being, like, upset of the situation. But when he was like, how can I get out of this fight? And for her to say, just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not great. And that's not great
Hildy,
for Louise
I'm breaking up with you.
You know, because Louise is going to come out and be like, wait, where did Terry go? He just gave me an iPad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He didn't even say bye. I don't even know if he said happy birthday.
I didn't like any of that.
Yeah,
I did not like any of that. I hope this all changes. It's like, if they're not going to be together, then stop toying with me. That's all. Is that too much to ask? Like, if you're not going to be together, then just be partners. None of this in between crap.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
They can't help it.
I can't.
Feelings are there.
Writers killing me. Okay, the trial is killing me.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed how they shot the trial and how they showed Melissa versus Al, like, back and forth with each of their opening arguments. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, they're both good.
They were both very good, and they both said things to help their own case.
Totally.
Making this an even hard. Like, I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then, you know, at the beginning of the episode, Alfred goes to Melissa to try one more time. He's like, 24 hours. Let's make a deal. Hence the name. Let's make a deal right now. And she says no. Like, no, because they want him to have a felony under his record. Thank you. But he's like, no, like, he will not take that. Which I get why he doesn't want it. When they were like, he's like, I can't do anything with the felony under my record. So I understand all that, but you shouldn't have done what you did. Anywho, so we're at the trial, and they have a lot of witnesses. They mentioned some things. Like I said, I thought in the opening arguments, I thought Al may have won. Like, I know it's just the beginning, but in that, like, if you would have been like, whose argument was better, I thought his was better.
Really?
Yes, because I thought she was just going more for, like, the sympathy, like, there was a death, I get all that. Do what you gotta do. But he was also, he said very important things. Things not like he's not guilty but just things like it was a area that was not lit very well. Yeah. This is a complete accident. Like, all of the things he said, he worded it in a better way than I thought she did.
Really?
That's what I thought.
I thought they were both
super good.
Strong, and they were like head to head until towards, like, the end of the day, the first trial day.
Oh, yeah, because they, like I said, they have different witnesses. I did find it interesting that he said that there was 7 accidents in 5 years in the same area. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, I was like, that helps you. Yeah, it's a great point. But so the first one was Burnside, who Hillary, thinking of Hillary Trump here over here. There's a lot going on in the world. Hildy kind of breaks up with Burnside a little bit.
Well,
but he was already expecting, like, he kind of broke up with her too.
I think it was a mutual breakup.
It was a total mutual breakup.
I was not expecting that.
No,
at all.
And she did not like that because he was basically like, I've already kind of moved on.
Yeah.
Like, after I saw that there was no chemistry, called my wife.
Although on a certain level she did too, because she went home and she was like, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah,
not thinking about Burnside.
Very true. You know that is very true.
So they're on the same level. I just totally didn't expect it to come from him. I thought he would be head over heels for Hildy. I don't know why, but I kind of respect that he's not. You know,
that he also is like no chemistry.
Yeah, and he just keeps surprising me with his character. I really like his character a lot. Like, I like the motorcycle thing. Like, what? And then now, this. I like it.
Yeah, I like his character
he's
too.
Got a strong character, and in the trial, I thought he was great.
He was so good, and it was like the way, like I said, I think it's just because of how Al is questioning these people.
He's good.
He's good, and his questioning is stumping her. Like, Burnside was saying all the right things about this body. What killed the body, the impact. He's like, the somersault, this, and this, the liver, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, was it a quick death? No. A few minutes. And then here comes freaking Al and is like, so can you... What can you tell me about the body or something? And he says, like, well, the body tells me things. And he's like, oh, so the body told you that this happened?
The cause of it?
Yeah. And he's like, no. And the body said this? No. Yeah. So all you can tell me is a pedestrian was killed by a car. And he's like, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like...
The way he ended it was really well.
The way he ended it. Then the next witness, who I thought was also interesting, was Detective Navarro.
Yeah. Why was he late?
Weren't they running from? Was it that? What I thought was that they were running from trying to catch Luke Wedman.
Oh, okay, maybe.
And then they called a rap, and he like ran in. That's what I thought.
There. Oh, okay.
They're like, wrap it up. He ain't here. He's running late. Whatever. That was an interesting one too. But I remember the first episode when he got really aggressive with Saletti.
Yeah.
Because he was like, dude, no, you're gonna get handcuffed. All this stuff. And then he also kind of stumps him with his last question when he's like, did you think he was intoxicated when you saw him?
And he said no.
And he said no.
Well, it didn't seem like he was like trying to get him. I mean, it seemed that Varl was just being genuine.
Right, just being
super
genuine.
honest.
Yes,
Yeah, he was like, no. You know?
And when I mean by get him, you're right. I don't think he was trying to get him particularly.
Right.
But I think he like...
It was a good point.
It was a good point. And like the way he ended it, you know what I mean? Like just... No, he didn't. He did not. Then the other one, I actually didn't get her name, but the woman that was the doing the analysis for the blood alcohol content and how they bring out this big chart, tell you his stuff and what an average person, how they're
metabolizes ethanol.
Yeah, all that. She says it's 0.015 average per hour. And all this, and that he would have technically maybe if that analysis is right, he would have had like a 0.082. Yeah. Right. And then he goes in and kind of shuts her down.
Yeah.
Which all of that stuff, all of that scientific stuff, especially because it's so close, it's like, what if he has a really fast metabolism? Yeah. What if it was actually 0.079? How do you know that? Like every time I see shows like this, like Law and Order SVU, and then the scientific thing comes up, and then it's like, well, an average. This okay. Well, that's an average.
Right. That's true. But I mean, like I mean, she's still making a point that like, obviously you were above 0.06, whatever it was. You know?
Right.
Like,
and that's true.
And like, it's really 0.01 gonna make a difference? You know, like if it was 0.079, is that gonna really make a difference? It's like, no, fool, you were still drunk. It was a little 0.1 over. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like just being in that area, I think still makes a good point for her. But Al did a great job of like, you know, kind of degrading that or just saying like, no, your point's invalid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I am curious to know what would happen in the real world if this was a real situation and then they tested his blood alcohol right away and it was a 0.079. What if it was a point?
Oh yeah.
What if it was something so close but there was a dead person? Would they? How would that change anything? You know, I'm just thinking that's crazy. Because you're right.
What difference does that make, really? You know,
what is that? Is that a sip of beer?
Yeah.
Is that like the last sip of beer that I didn't drink?
Right.
That's crazy. But again, Al Larkin handles it. He, Saletti, he's killing it for Saletti. And then we get the last witness who walks in a hot mess, Miss Jennings.
Yeah, she did a great job, that actress.
That was really funny.
She looked terrible. And just her regular looks, just out of it, she was really good.
She was I agree. She was really, really good, but she was like, why would you, if you were going to have a witness who is prone or who in the past has had this type of drug problem or does this stuff, wouldn't you keep an eye on her like 2 hours before trial?
Right, you would think.
Like, what are you doing, right? Melissa? I already don't like you. You already know that. This Melissa girl, I already don't like her. We've known that from day one. I don't trust her because of Pretty Little Liars. I already don't like her. So it's like, what are you doing with your life, man? What are you doing with your job if you cannot have this witness sitting in the freaking corner for 2 hours? Making sure she's not doing drugs.
And totally killed her case. At that point, I was like, okay, well, round one goes to Mario.
Yes, yes. That was
over.
At that point, I would have been like, walk out, dude. Like, just forget it. We actually don't have a witness.
Yeah,
I'd have been like,
true.
Judge, never mind. I actually don't have a witness. She's not capable. Instead, you let her make a fool out of yourself. Yeah. Out of yourself. Yeah. She made a fool out of you, girl. She made a fool out of you. Yeah. And then they point out, because they go to back to the judge's chamber, yeah. Is that what they we'll say the chamber.
I'll call it.
Yeah, it's the judge's chamber, and then he makes a comment about how this woman, this Miss Jennings, who's drunk and stuff, that she's only doing it to get other charges dropped.
Right. Yeah.
So even that alone, it's like, well, clearly you're not, Melissa, you're a hot mess too. You should go have a drink.
And I mean, had they kept her on the stand, I think Al would have brought that point up anyway. You know? Yeah.
Right. Which I feel like
it's just not a good call.
It's just, it was nothing about that was a good call.
Yeah. I mean, if she Though, if she would, to play the devil's advocate, if she was an actual witness, you know, she just happens to be a junkie, but she was a real witness. She was there. She totally saw them fighting and, you know, saw that stuff. That would be amazing. But how sucky would it be that she is an actual witness, but it just, like, she just can't get her stuff together? You know what I mean? It could be that situation. We don't know, right?
In the first step, and you're right. This is not me fighting what you're saying.
How crazy would
you're
that
making
be?
me think another thought. In the first episode, did we see any witness?
No.
I wish we
I don't know.
would
Yeah,
have.
we should probably go back and check. Like,
Because you're
a little
right.
shadow somewhere?
Right. Is there a shadow somewhere? Is there a person falling in the background?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I wish they would have made it clear that there was a witness.
Yeah.
That would have been nice, you know? But now it's like,
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. We don't really know what she saw. I mean, she was probably just in the area, and who knows?
Either way, it doesn't matter anymore.
It does not matter
We're up in
anymore.
front of the whole jury.
I don't think we're gonna see her anymore.
Yeah.
And the judge makes a comment. He's like, "You guys better figure this out, like, for all of our sakes." And she says, we have a deal, like, or she comes with the deal. Says no jail time, but still a felony."
He said nope.
He says nope. So the trial will continue.
Yeah, he said, I want my day in court.
I know. Calm down, Mario. So,
Okay.
Letty, I want my day in court.
Right?
Shut up.
All right, drama.
Shut up.
Princessa.
All right, let's get to the main storyline of this whole season. Freaking Normandy. So much has happened. Yet not a lot happened in this episode aside from a big death, but like so much is going on in the show.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, and it's not really leading us to a lot of, like, good answers, you know? We're just confused and all over the place.
No, I mean, yeah.
Before we solve the first 2 murders, we have another murder.
Which was
How is
at
this
least
happening?
solved
Right,
today.
yeah, right.
Yes.
But man, that is rough.
So Andrew Lippman. We start with Andrew Lippman for the Normandy case. He's at trial. He claims he's not guilty and wants to speak to Hildy and Terry. And this is the first moment where we're literally told Alicia Barnes's dad might not be who we think he is.
Right.
Like the first time that it's like officially been said, because he
Yeah.
says he's a sociopath.
Yeah.
Straight that says he's a sociopath. That he hated Normandy. Normandy kicked him out of Alicia's life.
Although, Alicia's mom kind of said stuff too, didn't she?
Yes, but that was later in the episode.
Oh, was it later? Oh,
yes.
okay.
This is top of my notes, so I'm assuming it was what we first saw because it started first here. But yeah, that's the first part of the episode, and then we go talk to the mom. Yeah, I think that's why they go talk to the mom to find out more about the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, basically says all the stuff, and it's like, all right, well, everything that we kind of hinted that he might be bad.
Yeah, I totally assumed. I thought it was him all
Yeah,
along.
there was somebody tweeting us too that they were like, I hope he's not bad, but he is, la la, whatever. Like, it was too easy for us, and I think that's why we were like, he's got to be bad because he seems too nice and too like.
I mean, he was just being shady too.
He was.
Yeah.
The whole time. From the beginning. From the beginning.
Sending Alicia away, just being so kind of like the mom said, like obsessive about her.
Right.
Just too controlling.
She says obsessive versus devoted. She's like the good spin.
Yeah.
Devoted.
Yeah.
Bad
No
spin. Obsessive.
Yeah.
And she says, she kind of explains that there's addiction in the family, that there was problems between her and I think his name is, what's his name? Paul, thank you.
Yeah.
The Paul, Barnes. That there was even a point where maybe they fought each other because she says mutual combat.
Yep.
She mentions that Paul beat a 19-year-old like pretty much to death.
Yeah.
Because he was sleeping in Alicia's bed, which the mom let.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a terrible situation.
That was a terrible
like,
situation.
Mama, you set that up.
Right? What are you doing? What are you doing?
And I think it was Andrea that mentioned that Normandy had kicked out Paul, so we kind of got an idea of that relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Why maybe Paul would be against Normandy because up to now we hadn't known. Yeah.
Yes, you're 100% right. Up until now, we wouldn't really know why he wouldn't like Normandy, but they said Normandy shoved him out of her life, type of thing.
Something about like a restraining order that Alicia took out on her own dad.
Right.
It's crazy.
And you're right. And then Andrew Lippman, this is all, Andrew Lippman, who is the attorney right now on trial, he says that he's like, no, I actually liked Normandy because he got him out of the picture. Like, it's not that I didn't like him, but I also respected him. Yeah. So we find out little more and more every single time. So we go from Alicia's mom, and then we actually go talk to Paul himself.
Yeah.
I mean Hildy and Terry.
Yeah, and the cameraman.
And the cameraman and like the crew and stuff, whatever. They go talk to Paul, and they just they make it seem very like nonchalant. Like, this is just going to be a little conversation between the three of us. And they do ask him where he was during Billy James's death. He says at the hospital. They ask him, they just chit-chat. Nothing else besides that. That's really what they wanted to know, right? Billy James. So they go investigate if this is true. And they realize that he was at the hospital from 7:35 a.m. to 9:15.
Yeah.
But then it's like
14 hours.
That's a long time. And to not leave,
yeah,
like, at all, there's no way.
Yeah.
Especially
obviously, it was doing something else.
Obviously. And then they point out that he's a smoker and that would be a lot for somebody who smokes to, like, not smoke. You know what I mean? Yeah, whenever I am working at Universal, people are like, where's the smoking area? And it's like 15 minutes away, sir. Actually, you got to take all these escalators all the way to the top, make a right, and keep walking.
Better be worth it.
Better be worth it. Seriously. Right? People are crazy about that. And Universal is not a smoker-friendly theme park. No. There's one spot in the whole park that you can go to. One, and that's it. So it's like, no. But people are crazy, and that's a great way to, like, look into, did he get out? Did he, escape for X amount of time and then come back?
And I can't remember. They went out and they saw the ashtray. Did they get anything from there? I can't remember.
I don't remember if they took any of the cigarette butts, but they looked at the camera and they were like, oh, maybe the camera can tell us.
Oh, right.
And then they didn't give us anything else. Yeah. I assume this is going to move into the next episode. But they did point out the camera. Okay. Which I was like, well, perfect. Yeah. There we go.
Maybe they mentioned Kiefer was working on that.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe you're right. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Okay.
So maybe we'll get something from the camera. That would be nice.
Yes. And while all of this is going on, I think, I think that's it with Paul, right? Because while all of this is going on with Paul, while Hildy and Terry are dealing with this, we got Kodo dealing with something else, and even Navarro and Mulk. I mean, they all mixed in together. Right. But the other side of the Normandy story, the death that we had a preview of, we all knew somebody was dying.
But I never would have guessed it was Serena.
Right? Especially after the fact that she just had a great night with Kodo.
Yeah, poor guy.
Poor Kodo. Right? And like you said, this is like, and even in the texts, when he's texting her, he's like, lunch? I'm going to pick you up. You're right. This was literally like the next day. Yeah. Like, very next day.
And at first when he was like, I'm just calling again, I was like, oh man, this guy's just being a bugaboo. He got to calm down. He's about to lose his girl.
You know what I was thinking? For a moment, I was like, what if she's bad? And she just used him.
Yeah, and I kind of thought that too.
And now she's off with Luke Wedman. Yeah. That's literally what I thought. But then when he went to the house and we see like that the door was like kind of, we both looked at each other, we're like, she's dead. She's dead. But why? Why? Serena Parrish is dead in her home. Kodo finds her. So terrible. And they automatically think it's Wedman. They think it's Luke Wedman, because she's the one who told Kodo that he pulled the gun in the locker room to Normandy. Right. So they are now searching for Luke Wedman. Yes. And they go talk to his girlfriend Willow. Mulk and Navarro go and talk to her. And they pretty much like have to... that poor woman, I think she sold it well too much. She was like, he always apologizes. Yeah. Like, everything about that is just like, oh, that's so
she was very
awful.
Genuine and very common,
Yes, so true. Like yeah. It's just, or even just people, like, whatever situation, where you're just like, you believe this other, you
make excuses for the person you're with. So you want them to be amazing when they're not.
When they're not.
You know they're not. But you're gonna be like, oh, well, they do this one thing once a year, maybe, and then they apologize for it. Yeah, so it's cool. They treat me terribly, but they apologize, so that's okay, right?
And she says, like, he gives me gifts, like he tries to make it up. I was like, oh my goodness.
Nice people give gifts too.
Yeah, they do. They really do. When I was just watching, sad. I was like, I believed her. Good job on the actress. I believed everything she said.
And I felt bad for her, too, because they kind of put her in a really tough situation, like setting her up with the call and, like, setting him up. Yeah. And, like, I don't know if I would have been able to do that with, someone that I assume they're in love, like,
and
set
she's
him up
probably
with the police
scared
like that.
of.
Yeah, exactly, But, I mean, and obviously she loves him. It seems like she was trying to protect him in a way. I don't know, because sometimes we see people on those, like, police calls, and they're like, run!
Yeah.
You. For a second I thought she might do that, but no. She gave him up.
And you're right, and they had to, like, they put her in a tough corner, because it wasn't easy. Like, they had to make her see what this guy is. And then he even was like, here's a picture of Serena. Yeah. All alive, and then here's a picture of her dead. Like, that was so awful.
That was rough, man. I don't know.
She agrees to help him, and then he calls, and they're already set up. They got the other person in there listening to the conversation, whatever. And Luke calls and tells her to meet him at a place with money, that he's in trouble, that something happened. And she goes to meet him. Everyone's in position. Everyone and their mom.
More obvious.
Everyone and their mom. Right? Like, they all brought people.
Yeah.
They're like, you stand here.
In a cop car. Yeah. I was like, you couldn't not be in maybe like a Honda. Like, you have to be in a Ford. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Come
right?
on. Like,
and all of them. Just all in different
help
cars.
yourself.
Yeah. I was surprised that nothing happened.
Yeah. Which then kind of made me feel like at the end of the episode, once it was all said and done and they finally got Luke, what was the whole point of that?
Well, they didn't think he was going to give himself up.
Yeah, but I mean, still.
You're right. I know.
Even her dying, I don't really know that was all that necessary. You know what I mean?
So you believe that it was a complete accident? That's why, like, everything he said?
No, just like her dying in the storyline. You know what I mean?
Like, why did she die?
Yeah, like, why did she need to die? Why does a third person need to die in the season?
Right.
And was that really that great of a payoff? You know, because we weren't like, oh my God, Serena's dead. You know, like, she was a small character. What was really the point of that? You know,
well, maybe,
and it didn't seem like Luke was doing it for something related to Normandy at all.
And they said this is they kept hinting, like in the previous, this is the third murder related to the Normandy case.
Yeah, but it was just an accident, really. Yeah. So I don't really know how necessary this was. I know that's kind of like...
unless, you know, there's more to the story that we don't know about yet.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you're right. Right now, it's almost like, so you just killed her in the story.
It was an accident. And now I kind of feel bad for Luke. In a little way. I had a little bit of empathy for Luke. I don't know.
Right, because they find Luke... After all this, they find him at a high school at like some football practice or something, and he doesn't fight it.
No,
he just, you know, and
he
then
accepted it.
He accepted it. They take him away. Kodo interrogates him, and again, he doesn't fight it. He straight up says, "I went in because she wanted to write a domestic violence story. I wanted to tell her not to use my name. We got in a fight. She bit me. I pushed her, and she hit her head, and that was an accident. It was an accident.
Yeah." I don't know how satisfying that was for me.
I don't either. I feel like, because it seemed too simple.
Yeah, too simple. And why? Like, and why is this necessary? We're in the middle, not in the middle of the season, but like there's so much other stuff going on that we want to know about, and this just happens like kind of on the side. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, I appreciate that, how much it affects Kodo, you know, and he's still going to be going on in the storyline. So maybe that'll come up, you know, like Kodo's so affected by this that, I don't know, he did something, but you know, like really, I just felt like this is pointless.
What if that is what if that's right? What if that's what's happening? Kodo can't handle it and then leaves, and so then Terry becomes lieutenant again, and then he can date Hildy,
but he would then be dating his subordinate. Wasn't that not allowed from the get-go or something? Okay. I don't know. But maybe the point of this was something to do with Kodo, like the way it affected him. Though they kind of wrapped it up pretty nicely with Terry giving him a little pep talk at the end. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
And Terry tells him to not blame himself, even though he says, I told her about the domestic violence stuff. Yeah. Like, but you're right. It kind of did make a full circle. This whole, like, Serena death made a full circle in this episode. Yeah. I feel like we shouldn't see this again. Like, we shouldn't hear about it again.
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, even him watching the video at the end, I was hoping maybe the video would show something more about, like, into the trial or something. But it was just him, like, missing her, you know. It was, like, a cute thing, which was cute. But, you know, like, I just want something more for the storyline, I feel like. I felt a little empty.
I do agree that I don't get why. I thought it was going to be more intertwined. Is that a word? Intertwined. That's what I was trying to say. Intertwined. One of those words that mean, you know, together, whatever. We'll get it, guys. We'll figure it out. I thought it was going to be more connected to the Normandy case. Or even just something.
Yeah. I mean, it was not satisfying.
And it was not.
So that happened.
So I feel like we covered everything. All my notes are all scribbled out. So I feel like
do you feel like, because they were saying how, like, I think it was Terry saying, like, you know, don't blame yourself, Kodo. Yes. Do you think Kodo's in any way to blame? Because I kind of felt like it was still her decision to run the story. You know what I mean? It's still her decision from the get-go to be a reporter. And being a reporter, I feel like, you know, you're already aware and kind of expecting that it's sort of a dangerous job. It's a little risky being a reporter. They travel to
especially what you're trying to cover.
Yeah, and you're obviously looking into murders and killers. Like, you know, you're in a sensitive situation. So, you know, like, I totally didn't think of it as, like, being his fault.
Oh, me neither.
You know?
Me neither. But I think that's, like,
his just guilty conscience.
That's his guilty conscience. I feel like all of us would not in this exact same situation, but put us in other situations where something happens to someone, and sometimes you're like, oh, that was kind of my fault, even though it really wasn't.
Right.
But you feel like it's your fault because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
When
But I
in
mean,
reality,
I totally felt it was her fault, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, you had the opportunity not to ruin someone's life, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but you're gonna do that, so
Right.
it's kind of like...
Right.
Yeah, and you knew he was violent. Yeah,
Right. There's
so
so many things. I never thought it was Kodo. Like,
Yeah.
I was never like, oh, Kodo, this is what
Right,
you get for
yeah.
getting close to someone and, like, spilling the beans when you're having a beer. No, I didn't think that at all.
Yeah, right.
But I see why he feels that way. And I see why, like, Terry was like, don't beat yourself up about it. Because Terry said it without even knowing that that he gave her information.
Right, yeah.
You know? So, no, I think it's just more like a human thing. Like, we just would all feel that way.
Yeah, for
Guilty
sure.
conscious.
But
even though.
overall, like, how it happened, I for sure feel like that was her fault.
Yeah. Oh, no.
She had that coming, yeah.
And if it was a complete accident, like we're expected to believe at this point, because what if this is not it at all? What if he wasn't an accident and
Right.
he's like, this is the best way I can get out of it, to like
Yeah.
turn myself in and say it's an accident.
Right.
What
That's
if
true.
we don't know? This show, you don't know. You don't
Very
know.
true.
We're gonna go into predictions, but let's
Your
remind you.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Let's remind you how bad we are at these predictions.
Yeah, I don't know that we've gotten anything.
I don't think
right.
we've gotten anything aside from the fact that I kept saying somebody's gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say it was gonna be Serena,
You just
but
think everyone's gonna die.
Everyone's gonna die because somebody has to die.
I mean, I thought Paul's dad was bad. We kind of right.
and we've gone back and forth with that. Yeah,
We knew Terry and Hildy were just gonna
we're
go up
just
and down.
gonna screw
That was
us
gonna
over
be a
in this.
tease
This
for
I'm so
seasons to
over
come.
it.
Seasons to come. It's gonna
Over
be like
it.
that,
Over
so.
it. All right. So,
Although
3 episodes left.
I kind of like what you just. What did you just say a second ago about Kodo and Serena? Man, now I lost it.
Kodo leaving because he can't handle it, and then Terry becomes lieutenant.
No. It was right before we started talking about predictions.
That what if
very
Serena's
last thing.
death was not accidental?
Yes, that. Yes. That would be pretty interesting because, like
Yeah.
you said, we don't really know exactly what happened between Luke and Serena. So
We
it
don't.
would be really interesting if maybe he actually did kill her and he is the one behind all the Normandy, Billy stuff, you know? Billy.
Behind everything.
We haven't even talked about Billy.
Billy James. Yeah. What it could seriously, he could be still the person behind everything.
Yeah.
And this is his way, or he thinks
that
this is
would
gonna be his
interesting.
way out.
By the way, that actor is fun. Did anyone else think he was real cute?
Let's see. I am ready though. Hold on.
Hello. My name's Susannah.
Luke Wedman?
Yeah, Luke
Let's see.
Wedman's-
Hold on. Because I have hit their page up
Am I
right
wrong?
now.
And he's got a nice fade. Whoever does your hair.
Whoever just so basically
Hi.
Susanna's loving this Luke
Right?
Wedman guy.
Wasn't he attractive? I thought he was real cute.
I
I'm sure people agree with me.
I'm sure you guys agree. He didn't come up on this one. Yeah, I feel like this can't be the end of Luke Wedman.
No,
This cannot
no.
be the end of this can't be the end of the story with Serena.
Yeah.
Because if this is seriously it, why? Why did you do this to us?
Exactly. So yeah, I kind of hope that maybe he is bad and it is related because then it would make me feel like, all right, this wasn't such a waste of an episode. Not a waste of an episode, but you know, like it's just so frustrating. Like why? What was the point of that? You know?
Yeah, he's cute.
They need to bring it in. Yeah.
Juan
he
Antonio.
is. Juan.
Juan Antonio.
Antonio.
Maybe he's like Dominican or
¿De
something.
dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? Susanna Kim. Juan Antonio. Maybe he's like Dominican
Alright,
or something. But it doesn't say anything on here on the IMDb.
Yeah.
page.
Wow, look at you.
Guys,
Database.
I'm learning things. But yeah, he's cute. I
Yeah.
guess I just wasn't paying that much attention
Oh,
to him.
I was paying attention.
I could tell. Thanks for bringing him back into my life.
You're welcome.
Okay, if Serena's story, if this is it with Serena's story, I'm gonna be real mad. Be real mad.
Yeah, so I do kind of hope that might be true. I mean, although it seems far-fetched because he seemed genuine. But
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Or what if? We're just going crazy here. What
as
if
well.
like he was in there and then pushed her and then left and then she wakes up and
someone
then
else
somebody
killed her.
else killed her,
Yeah, that's true.
like Sarah's the actress's name, Alicia's dad.
Yeah.
I say Sarah, but it's Sarah Paxton is the name of the actress. Alicia's dad or something. What if it's all connected in a way we just have no idea
I
about?
hope it is. That would be amazing for them to just,
Right?
you know, like just
Blindside
throw
us?
us all together. Yeah, just like Sixth Sense. Just, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, they're actually dead, but
They're actually all dead except. Okay, what about Mario Saletti? Trial.
Ooh, I don't know. It's going really well for him. It's going real well. I kind of see him winning his case. I think it would be interesting to sort of see a villain win, you know?
I know. I want him to win too.
Really?
Because if the show continues, I don't want him to not be in the show.
Oh, yeah, obviously. I mean, I think even if he didn't win, if he lost, I think he would still be in the show because I think he'd still be wheeling and dealing from wherever he is.
Well, if he loses, then he's going to get a felony.
Yeah.
Under his
So maybe
record.
we have to watch him flip burgers or, you know. When he was like, I can't do anything if I have a felony, I was like, fool, go start your own business or something, right?
Oh, that's
like,
true.
there's a lot of stuff you can do. Calm down. Cry me a freaking river.
He can't just practice law.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, I mean,
yeah.
you're right. That's not a big deal
Yeah,
for somebody.
right.
who
You can't follow your dreams, but I mean, what's
You can't do what you've been doing for the last 20 years and what's supporting you and your family. But we need you to get over it. Just
People
go
having a hard time in the world.
Seriously, go just get a job.
First
Yeah,
world
but
problems.
I want him to win his trial, or maybe for there to be something like is there another way that maybe like a mistrial and then it ends? What's a
Maybe.
mistrial?
A mistrial, like
Does a mistrial lead you to another trial no matter what?
I don't think so. I don't know, actually.
See, something where it's like he doesn't necessarily win because like he's guilty of something.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to not practice. I don't want the show to come back season 4 and he's
Not a lawyer?
not the
Or not a-
freaking
what is
DA.
DA, yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy watching Mario Saletti.
But I kind of like seeing him in the position that he's in, where he's like, I'm supposed to be DA, and he's just like running all over town, just making a fool of himself. It's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I guess to put him back in his power position and see the decisions he makes with the cases, yeah, I totally think we're gonna get him back regardless.
So we both agree he probably wins his case.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see him win.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But they show a brief preview that they're gonna have the victim's husband testify.
Oh yeah.
And that, like, you saw it for like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was already like, oh.
Yeah, he was really passionate.
In those 4 seconds,
Yeah.
I was like, man.
So
and
that could backfire on him, you know? They're like, look at this fool. He can't even keep his stuff together, you know?
But that,
Calm
like,
down.
that's all that emotion can hit
Yeah,
the jurors.
for sure.
In a way that it's like,
That'll be interesting
you might
to see.
lose because of this one witness right here. And that's,
Daddy.
That's tough. Any more deaths?
I hope not. I'm over it. I want to figure out what's going on with the first 2 deaths. You
If
know?
it's all connected in some way,
Yeah.
Luke Wedman will be killed by
whoever it is.
whoever. You know what I mean? Like, if this is all
No,
connected.
I don't want to kill anyone else.
If this is all connected. Because maybe they're not. Maybe he really had nothing to do with Billy James or Normandy, and this is just a fluke that he kills Serena. Right? But if it's all connected,
Yeah.
he dies.
And you think there's a
Another
higher
person.
power.
Whether it's freaking the dad, Daddy, D-A-D-D-Y, or it could be, what if it's somebody we don't even freaking know right now?
Yeah. Could
You know?
be.
Like, it's just somebody.
Subway Sam hasn't come back.
He has not.
He
He was-
they found him. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, it could be someone.
Could be someone else. But that's what I say.
Yeah.
I
I hope there's not another death, though. I will not be happy if someone else dies. I'm over it. I just want to start finding stuff out now. You know? I want the rest of the season to be all about answers and revelations.
Yes.
And like, oh, what? Not like they died, or, you know? Because I can't imagine anyone that I would be that upset about them dying. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a single person, except
Yeah.
for the main characters, but they're not going to do that. So,
Yeah.
you know?
No, and you're right. I'm not saying any of the main characters would die.
Right,
And
yeah.
I'm only saying him if it's all connected.
Luke, okay, yeah.
If it's
I mean,
not,
I guess that might make me sad. You're right, just because he's so
Juan Antonio,
fun. I just want you to be on the rest.
if you're listening.
Can you be on next season? Is there a way they can loop you into whatever
Can
the
we?
storyline is?
Maybe he's just a good guy and he's gonna be in the rest of the shows.
Yeah, maybe you can call me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, all those things. Juan Antonio.
Juan.
I think we got it all.
Yeah.
Did we get?
I
Okay.
think so I've got everything crossed out.
If you are as confused or if you think you have answers, anything, tweet us. Let us know. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening, you watching the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening in a week, in 2 days, whatever. We appreciate it. Susannah, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Susannah_Kim, SUSANNAH_KIM.
Yes. And you guys can find me, Monse Bolanos, on Twitter or Instagram at Monse Bolanos. I know my name's a little weird. MONSEBOLANOS. I did mention if you were to tune in till the end, we would tell you who's possibly going to be here next week, which it looks like it's going to happen. But Lombardo Boyar, who plays Detective Navarro, is in the works of coming in next week. So be sure to tune in. Let us know what you're thinking of this whole season. I mean, we're over halfway. There are 3 episodes left. Let us know what you think. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.